The Indians of South Africa are the personification of business, enterprise, innovation, and entrepreneurship. They drive most of the retail at the bottom of the pyramid. That is the reason we say the Indian in South Africa represents the very heart of South Africa. By that fact, we mean that they serve the masses of the people of South Africa with economical yet quality goods. Over the years, they have developed talent to scout, develop, and innovate, as well as adapt products in such a way that the masses of the poor are able to afford products that are of very high quality, yet very economical. Among Black South Africans, there is a well-known saying, "An Indian becomes wealthy with just one banana." At first glance, it may sound like a simple proverb, but it carries deep admiration for the Indian community's entrepreneurial spirit, resilience, and long-term thinking. Across many African townships and inner cities, this saying is spoken, with respect, not as sarcasm, but as a reflection of a cultural truth observed over generations. What this saying captures is the essence of starting small, thinking smart, and growing steadily. It tells the story of how a person can buy a few bananas, set up a small table on a street corner, and begin trading. From those modest beginnings, day after day, profit is reinvested, relationships are built with suppliers and customers, and soon that one banana becomes a fruit stall, a grocery store, then a chain. It is not magic. It is mindset. The Indian community in South Africa and across the continent has shown that wealth does not begin with capital. It begins with attitude. This is a community that understands margins, hustle, and the power of consistency. They buy in bulk, reduce wastage, negotiate hard, and save more than they spend. They work long hours. They involve the whole family. They build brick by brick. There is no shame in starting small, only shame in staying small without effort. In township economies, Indian traders are often the backbone of local commerce. Whether it is a corner shop, a fabric store, a spice wholesaler, or a cell phone dealer, their presence is felt because of this principle. Start now, start with what you have, and grow smartly. The one banana is a metaphor for vision, the ability to see potential where others see limitation. It is also a testament to discipline, patience, and risk-taking in the face of hardship. For many African youth today, this proverb is more than cultural wisdom. It is a blueprint for economic freedom. As South Africa continues to seek economic transformation, there is much to be learned from this humble saying, not only about Indians, but about what it takes to build a legacy, from one banana to a business empire. One of the most remarkable qualities of the Indian community in South Africa is their deep understanding of local markets and their ability to tailor products and services to suit the needs of everyday people, especially the working class and the poor. This isn't accidental. It's the result of generations of observing, listening, and adapting. Studying the streets. Not just the stats Indian traders don't rely on formal market research reports. They study human behavior at ground level. They watch what people buy, how much they spend, what time they shop, and what goods move fastest. They understand payday patterns, school terms, and even seasonal preferences. This gives them a streetwise intelligence that allows them to stay relevant and responsive. They are quick to stock affordable alternatives, break bulk into smaller units, and introduce new products that match the income patterns of the township. Economy. Whether it's selling R5 airtime vouchers, small sachets of washing powder, or lay-by plans for school uniforms, they move with the rhythm of the people. Service to the lower class. Without looking down far from being aloof, Indian-owned, businesses are often the most accessible and service-oriented in lower-income areas. Whether in Marabastad in Pretoria, the CBDs of Durban and Johannesburg, or small towns across the country, their shops offer clean environments, longer trading hours, and friendly service, often at prices lower than large retail chains. They cater to migrant workers, pensioners, students, and street vendors, not with pity, but with respect. They offer credit, discounts, loyalty, and trust, built through relationships. This is why they are not just businesses, but pillars of local economies. Marabastad and inner-city economies. Take Marabastad, for example, a historic market district where Indian traders remain the mainstay. While many large retailers avoid inner-city spaces, Indian businesses thrive there. They offer quality textiles, electronics, fashion, furniture, and food at unbeatable prices. Their shops are often intergenerational, with sons and daughters learning from their parents, continuing the family trade with modern upgrades like online ordering and WhatsApp catalogs. The Indian pricing strategy, a masterclass in street economics. Let's talk about one of the smartest and most underrated skills in township economics, pricing. And nobody does it better than the Indian trader. This is not guesswork. It's not random. It's not greed. It's strategy, refined, sharp, and tested over decades of face-to-face selling. Here's how it works. Step 1. Study the product before that product hits the shelf. The Indian trader has already broken it down in his mind. What's the cost? What's the demand in this area? How fast will it move? What is the reasonable profit I can make per unit? He doesn't just throw a price based on feelings. He sets a price based on logic, movement, and margin. Then comes the next layer. This is where most of us fail. Step 2. Prepare the lowest profit. Price. The Indian trader doesn't just stop at the ideal markup. He prepares 2 prices in his mind. The first price, good profit, clean margin. The second price, still profit, but lower, his "you're my friend" price. This second price is not random. It's calculated. It still keeps the wheels turning. It might be the "I move stock faster" price or the "I gain customer loyalty" price. And this is where the magic happens. Step 3. Read the customer. Like a book, you walk in. He greets you. "My friend, come in, come in. How can I help you today?" He introduces the product, the benefits, the features. You like it, but he can tell. You're hesitating. He reads your face. He reads your energy. He knows. You want it, but you can't quite afford it. Now this is where the amateur hustler loses the sale. But the Indian trader, he smiles and leans in. "You know what? For you, I can do it for this price." And boom, you buy. You walk out feeling seen, respected, and valued. You'll come back again. You'll send your cousin. You'll bring your mother next time. What just happened wasn't just a sale. It was relationship building through pricing. 2 prices, 1 hustle. That's the Indian genius. He doesn't fight you. He doesn't scold you for not having money. He doesn't chase you away like many black shopkeepers do when you negotiate. He simply operates on a flexible model. Profit or low profit, but never loss. Customer first, ego second. Keep the wheel turning. What can we learn? This isn't just about curry powder and cell phone chargers. It's about how we see our customers, pricing, and business relationships. If you're too stiff, too proud, too fixed, you'll lose people. But if you know your numbers, build in pricing flexibility, treat people with warmth and respect, you'll grow faster, stay longer, and build something worth inheriting. So salute the Indian trader, not just for his products, but for his pricing psychology. Because while you're still shouting, "Take it or leave it," he's smiling, making profit either way. How to use the Indian dual pricing model in your own hustle. You don't need a shop in Marabastad or a family from Gujarat to master this model. All you need is strategy, humility, and clarity. Let's break it down so you can use it today, whether you're selling from your boot, a WhatsApp group, or a street corner. Step 1, know your numbers. Cold before you sell anything, sit down and do the math. How much did it cost you to get this product or service ready? What's your target profit per unit, realistically? How many do you need to sell in a week, month to reach your survival goal? Once you have that, create 2 prices. Primary price, your standard retail price with your ideal profit. Floor price, your lowest acceptable price that still gives you profit, even if it's small. Note, your floor price is not a loss. You never go below cost. Ever. Step 2, build the script. Don't stumble through your pitch like it's your first time. You need 2 layers of delivery. First pitch, confident, friendly, full value. Sell the benefits. Second pitch, the "for you, my friend" offer. Drop the price a little, show care, make the person feel seen. Example, this one goes for 120 Rand, top quality, I promise. But you know what? For you, I'll let it go for 100 Rand. I want you to come back, so I'll take care of you. That simple shift builds trust and human connection. Step 3, read the room, not the race don't assume based on race, clothes, or accent who can or can't afford. Read their energy. Are they hesitating? Do they love the product but pause at price? Use intuition, not ego. Because when you read right, you can close right. Step 4. Build loyalty, not just sales. That second price isn't always about today. It's about tomorrow. When you drop to your floor price with care, the person leaves feeling respected. They'll tell their friends, come back again, trust you when you introduce a new product. Feel emotionally invested in your hustle. That's long-term value, not just a once-off transaction. Step 5. Control the game. Don't be pressured. This strategy doesn't mean you're weak or desperate. You're in control. You know your numbers. Marabastad, the Wall Street of grassroots entrepreneurship. In the vibrant heart of Pretoria, South Africa, lies Marabastad, a thriving economic hub that serves as the Wall Street of the grassroots economy. Just as Wall Street symbolizes global finance for the elite, Marabastad represents the dynamic, community-driven marketplace that empowers thousands of small-scale traders, innovators, and self-made entrepreneurs. A hub of opportunity and enterprise. Marabastad is more than just a neighborhood. It is a living testament to the ingenuity of local commerce. From sunrise to sunset, the streets buzz with vendors offering fresh produce, fashion, electronics, crafts, and traditional goods. The energy is electric, filled with the sounds of negotiation, the aroma of street food, and the constant flow of buyers and sellers weaving through the lively market lanes. Unlike the towering skyscrapers of Wall Street, Marabastad's trading. Floors are open-air stalls, repurposed containers, and vibrant displays on the pavement. Yet, the same economic forces drive success. Supply and demand, opportunity recognition, and entrepreneurial hustle fuel daily transactions worth millions. The people's marketplace. Just as stock traders navigate market trends, Marabastad's entrepreneurs master the art of buying and selling with precision. A vendor specializing in imported sneakers adjusts prices based on demand spikes, while a winter clothing seller thrives when the seasons change. The marketplace operates on agility, trust, and deep community networks, where deals are sealed with handshakes and market news spreads faster than any financial ticker. This is an economy built on relationships, where credit is extended based on reputation, and collective savings groups, Stockvels, act as community banks. Supply chains stretch across borders, linking traders to markets in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and beyond, proving that grassroots commerce is both resilient and globally connected. Strength in community and adaptability. While Marabastad's entrepreneurs face challenges, such as regulatory hurdles and competition from larger retailers, their adaptability is unmatched. They innovate constantly, shifting products, adjusting strategies, and finding new ways to thrive. Unlike formal sectors that rely on rigid structures, Marabastad's economy is fluid, responsive, and driven by the people who know their customers best. This marketplace is not informal. It is self-sustaining, community-powered, and entrepreneurial. At its core, it represents an essential layer of South Africa's economy, where small-scale trade fuels livelihoods, fosters local wealth, and keeps money circulating within communities. The future of inclusive economics Marabastad is a blueprint for how grassroots markets can drive real economic growth. If Wall Street represents corporate finance, Marabastad embodies democratic commerce, where success is earned through hard work, creativity, and the collective strength of traders, policymakers, and investors looking to understand Africa's true economic engine should study Marabastad. It's not just a market, it's a dynamic financial ecosystem, proving that the most vibrant economies often grow from the ground up. Conclusion: Marabastad may not have the marble floors of Wall Street, but it has something even more powerful: the spirit of self-determination. It is a place where every sale represents resilience, every trader is a CEO of their own enterprise, and every transaction strengthens the community. In the grand story of global economics, Marabastad's entrepreneurs are the unsung champions of inclusive prosperity, the true architects of wealth at the grassroots. The emotional psychology of commerce. The missing link in Black enterprise business is not just math. It's not just product and price. It's emotion. It's psychology. It's how people feel when they walk into your space, hear your voice, or interact with your brand. And this is where the Indian trader excels, not because they're lucky, but because they've mastered what we've often ignored: the emotional psychology of commerce. Let's break it down. People buy with feeling, then justify with logic. A customer rarely buys because they need something. They buy because they feel something. They feel welcome. They feel understood. They feel seen. They feel like they're being taken care of. The Indian trader knows this. That's why he greets you with, "Hello, my friend." It disarms you. It softens you. It makes you feel human, not like a wallet with legs. Now contrast that with many Black-owned shops or services where the greeting is absent, the energy is cold, and the service is transactional. Emotion sells. Emotion repeats. Emotion builds. Loyalty. The sale begins. Before the price is mentioned, Indian traders create an atmosphere before you even ask the price. They talk with warmth. They smile. They make small talk. They flatter you. By the time you ask for the price, they've already built a connection. And humans don't easily walk away from warmth, even if the item is a bit more than they planned. This is emotional commerce at work. Build the bond first, sell second. They make you feel like a somebody. One of the greatest emotional currencies in poor communities is dignity. People are tired of being looked down on. The Indian trader never makes you feel small. Even if you only have 10 rand, he makes you feel like a VIP. That's power. That's strategy. Because when you feel valued, you return. You tell others. You become emotionally tied to the business. And that is something most of us still don't grasp. Warmth is a weapon in the Black community, especially in townships. Customer service is often cold, defensive, and transactional. There's an attitude of, "What do you want?" instead of, "How can I help you?" That's a spiritual block in business. It drives people away. Because commerce is spiritual. It's an exchange of energy. The Indian trader understands this. That's why he's not selling a product. He's creating a feeling. Warmth is his weapon. Charm is his sales pitch. And it works. Business is theater in every Indian shop. There's a kind of performance, not fake, but strategic. The smile, the friendliness, the occasional compliment. The way they say, "Come back anytime, I'm always here for you." It's emotional choreography. It turns a simple purchase into a positive memory. We need to teach Black youth that business is a stage. You perform your passion. You wear service like a costume. You script your words with care. It's not being fake. It's being intentional. What this means for Black enterprise. If we want to build a new generation of Black entrepreneurs who dominate markets, we must teach emotional intelligence, not just financial literacy. We must teach how to read a customer's body language, how to speak with grace and empathy, how to create an emotional atmosphere, not just a physical space, how to disarm egos and welcome people into human connection, because Black excellence is not just in products, it's in presence. And if we master emotional psychology, we can outserve, outlast, and outlove the market. And in business, the most loved always wins. The Indian community in South Africa, living proof of fortune at the bottom of the pyramid. When the late business thinker C.K. Prahalad introduced the world to the concept of the fortune at the bottom of the pyramid, he challenged a long-held corporate assumption that profitability lies only in serving the wealthy. Prahalad argued that there is untapped economic power in the poor and working classes, and that companies who understand this could transform both their bottom line and society. Long before this concept became academic theory, the Indian community in South Africa had been living it, on the ground, in the streets, and in the markets. Enterprise at the base of society, Indian South Africans, many of whom descended from indentured laborers or modest merchants, were born into a system that excluded them from elite capital structures. With limited access to formal financing, they turned to the people around them, the working class, the pensioners, the informal traders, the domestic workers. They did not look up for profit. They looked around. Instead of waiting for government contracts or corporate jobs, they became traders, tailors, barbers, grocers, and pharmacists, serving township economies and rural populations that were often overlooked or considered unbankable. These traders became essential providers, offering goods in small, affordable quantities, using credit, bargaining flexibility, and human relationships as their model. The Indian community in South Africa, numbering about 2 million strong, represents the very heart of South Africa. Over the course of more than 160 years, this community has evolved from indentured laborers and merchant settlers into a distinct South African identity, no longer simply an extension of the Indian motherland. Their story is one of resilience, adaptation, and integration, shaped as much by the struggles of apartheid as by the freedoms and complexities of post-apartheid democracy. While India remains a spiritual and ancestral homeland, most South African Indians today identify as fully South African. Their languages, culinary practices, and even religious expressions have undergone transformation in the local context. Hindi, Tamil, Urdu, and Telugu have faded in everyday speech, replaced by English with South African inflections, and even isiZulu or Afrikaans in some cases. Their cuisine blends Indian tradition with African ingredients and rhythms, giving rise to dishes like bunny chow, unknown in India. This divergence has been both cultural and emotional. Generations born in South Africa view themselves not as Indian expatriates, but as part of the broader South African story, deeply rooted yet uniquely flavored by a distant ancestry. In South Africa's complex racial mosaic, Indians often find social and familial proximity with the colored community, a broad category that includes people of mixed Khoisan, African, especially Xhosa, and European descent. Particularly in provinces like the Western Cape and KwaZulu-Natal, intermarriage between Indians and coloreds is increasingly common. These unions are not just about love and family, they reflect a broader cultural blending and the breakdown of apartheid-era social divisions. Shared religious spaces, educational institutions, and working-class neighborhoods have allowed these communities to find common ground and build hybrid cultures. One can see the echoes of this fusion in music, language, fashion, and even names. Historically, the Indian community in South Africa aligned itself with the struggle against apartheid. From early figures like Mahatma Gandhi during his South African years to leaders like Dr. Yusuf Dadoo and Ahmed Kathrada, Indian activists worked closely with Black liberation movements. The Indian identity in South Africa, unlike in some diaspora communities elsewhere, became politicized early on, not in isolation, but in solidarity with Black South Africans. Today, many Indian South Africans vote alongside Black South Africans and share political concerns about economic justice, education, and social cohesion. While there are internal class distinctions, politically the community remains engaged with the broader African cause. Economically, South African Indians are among the better off segments of the population. Concentrated in small business, retail, property, and professional sectors such as law, medicine, and engineering, they have carved out strong local economies. Places like Phoenix, Chatsworth, and Lenasia, including the well-known suburb of Laudium in Pretoria, are examples of self-contained yet outward-looking Indian communities that have developed their own institutions, mosques, temples, schools, newspapers, and civic associations. These are not ghettos, but organic expressions of economic success and cultural preservation, spaces where the community's middle class has grown and thrived. Laudium, located southwest of Pretoria, is a ABOI's prominent Indian suburb that exemplifies the community's evolution. Originally only Indian, Laudium has transformed into a cosmopolitan and entrepreneurial hub. Its streets are lined with spice shops, medical centers, beauty salons, and high-end homes. While rooted in Indian culture, it is not insular. People from other communities live, work, and trade there. Mosques stand alongside churches, and its schools draw learners from neighboring areas. It is also a place where new generations of Indian South Africans are forming their identity, balancing tradition and modernity. The future of South African Indians lies in deeper integration, leadership, and continued cultural evolution. With youth increasing intermarriage, political participation, and economic contributions, the community is poised to remain influential. However, challenges persist. The need to maintain cultural heritage without becoming insular, the pressure to address inequality, and the temptation of emigration among professionals. In the coming decades, South African Indians may play an even more central role in shaping a truly inclusive South Africa, where identity is fluid, history is shared, and success is defined not by separation, but by solidarity. In them, we see not just a community, but a bridge between worlds. Marabastad, the dusty gold mine of South African commerce. At first glance, Marabastad might look like just another chaotic, dusty corner of Pretoria, a place where the paint is peeling, the taxis hoot non-stop, and the pavement vendors hustle under the blazing sun. But look again. Look with your third eye. Because Marabastad is not dust. It's gold. It is South Africa's Wall Street for the humble, a place where empires are born from crates, counters, and conversations, where dreams don't wear suits but overalls, where profit walks, not in boardrooms, but between stalls and spaza shops. The genesis of the Indian hustle Marabastad is sacred ground for the Indian community in South Africa. It is where the Indian hustle first took root, where early traders, barbers, tailors, and spice sellers planted the seeds of an economy that now stretches across the country. And yes, even Gandhi himself once lived here. Before he became a global icon of peace and resistance, Mahatma Gandhi walked these very streets. This was one of his earliest homes during his South African years, long before he marched to the sea in India. That's not just history. That's heritage. More than a market, Marabastad is not just a place. It's a mentality. It's the birthplace of the two-price strategy. It's where customer service is king and pricing is an art. It's where Indian traders didn't wait for opportunity. They created it, corner by corner. While others mocked the dust, they saw diamonds in the dirt. While the elite looked down, they looked around, and they built. This is where one banana became a business, one table became a family legacy, one act of warmth created lifelong customers. Marabastad is not over. It's a blueprint today. Many young Black South Africans avoid Marabastad, calling it backward, dirty, or beneath them. But the truth is, what Sandton is to those who inherited wealth, Marabastad is to those who are willing to earn it. It is the boot camp of street economics, the university of real hustle, the lab where theories become realities, and small traders become giants. So don't scoff at it, study it, walk it, smell the spices, watch the eyes of the sellers. Feel the energy that pulses through each transaction, because in the dust of Marabastad lies the code to Black economic freedom. The forgotten power of the corner economy. While many wait for tenders, bursaries, or rescue from above, there is an entire economy happening at street level, in corners, on pavements, in alleyways, and in undesirable zones where real money is moving every day. This is the corner economy. And it has fed more families, launched more hustles, and built more first-generation wealth than most government programs ever have. You call it small. But it's massive selling fruit at the robots. That's retail, fixing phones from a table. That's tech repair, printing school projects from a garage. That's a service business. You call it side hustle. But it's actually the front line of economic survival, and when treated with seriousness, it becomes generational power. This is what Indian and immigrant communities understood early on. The corner is not failure. The corner is foundation. They sold socks, then school bags, then electronics. They served the working class with loyalty and pricing intelligence. They treated every transaction like it mattered. Because it did. Why Black youth must reclaim the upfront corner? Too many of us believe that if it's not inside a mall, or if it doesn't have a glass door and a card machine, it's not a real business. That thinking is a trap. It keeps us broke while we wait to look professional instead of learning to be profitable. It is in the corners of South Africa, Marabastad, the taxi ranks, the bus stops, the township spaza strip, where the real schooling begins. These are places to test your product, places to learn human psychology, places to build customer relationships, places to stack real, hard-earned money. Your empire has a corner. Name Apple started in a garage. ShopRite started in a small store in the Cape. Your business, it can start from a corner, but only if you drop the shame. Only if you stop waiting for a loan or perfect website. Only if you stop thinking the hustle has to be clean and cute. Because the truth is, the corner is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of the empire. And if you honor that beginning, you'll one day walk into your high-rise office and remember with pride, I started on the corner. And now I run the block.